Hey, so you wanted to know if Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, is any good, right? Well, good thing! You came to the right place. So let's get into it, shall we, and ride on off into Valhalla. Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome back to a new video. If you're new here, I'm Evan, or PME, or Portal Master Evan, but in this video we're going to be doing a review for Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. This marks the 5th film in the Mad Max Saga, or franchise, directed by George Miller, with a soon possible 6th movie on the way, praying that Furiosa does well. Now, I won't lie, I'm pretty new to the Mad Max franchise. I've always really been curious about the Mad Max franchise, and I just recently watched Fury Road in anticipation for Furiosa. Absolutely loved Fury Road, and I just recently saw Furiosa a couple days ago from the time of this recording. And I really did love this movie. I cannot stress that enough. This movie is very similar to the way that Fury Road is, but it's also very different in the way that its tone is and the way that the story of this film is structured. Because while yes, you have a lot of physical set pieces and a lot of vehicles going boom, and weird and wacky things that are happening in both films, this feels more like a novel, feels more like a legacy that you're watching from its very beginning to where we eventually will see it in a future film, which already happened since this is a prequel. But this is really good. So story-wise, like I said, this is a prequel, so we get to follow Furiosa from a very young age, which we heard about in Fury Road. If you haven't seen that, sorry, spoilers alert. But we learn about that in Fury Road. And we get to see her from a very young age to where she will later become when she becomes Charlize Theron, when she takes over the role in Fury Road. Since we have a younger Furiosa that we follow in this movie, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who absolutely crushes it. She's absolutely fantastic. Even in the moments that she doesn't even have to speak a word, you can just see what she's trying to convey in the way that her emotion is, in the way that she wants to say something but she can't, kind of thing. It's just, she did a fantastic job. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She's fantastic in whatever movie or TV project that she's in, so I'm always on board for her on that. Chris Hemsworth is absolutely freaking bonkers crazy in this movie. I absolutely loved him a lot. I think George Miller basically said to Chris Hemsworth, hey, just go wild. Just go wild. Let your Aussie side out. Because I can tell he had so much fun getting to play this character, Dementus, who is one of the main antagonists of this film. And over the course of the movie, he slowly just gets more and more deranged and more psychopathic. And he's just such a fun character. He's such a fun character, but he's also very terrifying because he's the type of character you don't want to cross. And he did fantastic. Both him and Anya Taylor-Joy were absolutely awesome. I loved them very much. Then we get introduced to some familiar characters and some characters we didn't really get to see too much of in Fury Road. We get to see Immortan Joe again, a younger Immortan Joe. I do not know what the name of the actors that played him in this movie, but it was not the original actor who played him in Fury Road due to the fact that the original actor had passed away years ago. But he was really cool for what he was. The voice kind of threw me off because it wasn't as deep as the original actor in Fury Road. But we get to see the other bosses who headed Gastown and the Bullet Farm and stuff like that. They get a little bit more to play around with here in this movie. We get to see a little bit more of Immortan Joe's sons, Rectus and Scrotus. That is one thing I love so much about, that I've noticed to love so much about the Mad Max movies, even though I've only seen 2 of the 5 that are currently released, is I love that this film franchise does not really take itself too seriously. There are serious moments, but then you have characters named Scrotus and Rectus, an Octobos, an Organic Mechanic, and History Man. Like, they're just the most random things ever, but they just work because it's just, you know, the world is like a really weird apocalyptic world, and it just works. It just works. You don't question it. You just roll with it. Speaking of Octobos, he's a pretty awesome character. Design-wise, he's pretty sick. And he's got a ragtag crew with him and stuff like that. But, like, honestly, George Miller just smashed it out of the park with this movie. I was sitting there and there were just so many moments where I just sat there and I was like, holy shit, he just did that. Because there are really like some crazy moments in this movie, and there are things that I did not anticipate that he would have done, and then he goes and does it, and then he goes and one-ups it a couple more times, and it's just like, oh my god. Honestly, I think this year is definitely the year of sand, because we have Dune 2, which was another very, very good movie we've had this year, and now we have Furiosa, which is in the wastelands of Australia and stuff like that, which is really sick. But this was a really good movie. I did very much enjoy this. Like I said, I'm pretty new to the Mad Max franchise, so I can't really go super in depth with the lore or anything like that, because I don't know too much. I'm just kind of jumping into it because I still have to watch the other films and stuff like that to see if there's any connection there. But for what I have seen, I love these movies, and I'm really hoping that Furiosa does just well enough that we will be able to get George Miller's next film in the Mad Max franchise, Mad Max The Wasteland. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that is going to be a prequel to the events of Fury Road, or if that is the direct sequel after Fury Road. I'm not entirely sure where that's going to sit in the timeline. Either way, I'm really excited for that, because from the two that I've seen so far, George Miller's got the sauce, and he's done fantastic so far. Because before I even got to see these Mad Max movies, I only knew him from Happy Feet. His filmography is so random. You have Mad Max, and you have Happy Feet, and there's a few other movies in there that I can't think of. But George Miller, you get an okay in my book, bro. You're doing fantastic. I hope you get to make Mad Max The Wasteland as well. But that's basically all the thoughts I really have. I don't think this video is going to be super long, because like I said again, I can't really go super in depth. I only have like a base level knowledge of the Mad Max franchise, versus say if it was Transformers or something that I could give an hour worth long lore video on. But anyways, I'm really excited that I got to do this movie review, because I haven't done a movie review like this in a long time, and I thought this movie was pretty fitting to be able to do a movie review for, and I'm very excited to see what George Miller does next. I'm very excited to see where we go next in the Wastelands. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you do end up subscribing, and let me know down below, have you seen Furiosa Mad Max Saga? Will you see Furiosa Mad Max Saga? Have you watched any of the Mad Max films? Will you be planning to? Let me know. I love interacting with all of you, and stay tuned for a new video coming very soon. But anyways, guys, this has been Poor Master Evan. Peace out. Bye.